Hi everybody. There's a little talk about bees today. I'm on my ride, and as you can see, this road here is left by the farmer to grow plants for the bees. And as you can see, I've got to be careful here because there's a ditch there somewhere. These little thistle things and all these little thistles, these little daisies. Along here we've got loads of bindweed. There you are, there's a bindweed trumpet flower. These all should be full of bees. I know it's a bit early in the morning, but it's still 20 degrees now and there's nothing. Now, this is very concerning. I mean, I work in horticulture, as you know, or gardening. I'm not really a horticulturalist, I'm not trained, but I am a groundsman. And this year has been particularly bad. Now, I've been speaking to loads of people, and it seems that it could be the wet spring. Because bumblebees, I'm not really worried about honeybees so much, although there is a lack of them as well, but they're farmed. I'm talking about wild bees, bumblebees, red tails, things like that. They nest in the ground, and the school of thought is amongst all the people I know, like my pest controller, because there's been a lack of wasps as well, although that's slightly different. That could be because the queens were flooded out in the spring. But they should have recovered. I mean, one queen produces a nest which produces bees. So you'd expect to see a few about. I've got the odd one in my garden, and believe it or not, in northeast Norwich, where one of my stepson lives, his plants have got a few bees on, you know, but maybe because Norwich is a bit more of a microclimate, it's warmer, I don't know, and drier. But as you can see, these should be full of bees and insects, but there's nothing. This year's been so bad. The big buddleias I have at work are normally absolutely full of butterflies. This year, all I've had loads of large whites and loads of commas. Very few had red admirals. Last year, painted ladies and red admirals, there was hundreds, but hardly any this year. The odd peacock, but then again, there is only the odd peacock, the odd tortoiseshell. But it's all a bit worrying. I mean, is it climate change? I don't know. I think it's more pesticides and things like that. I think they still won't go organic, the farmers. I mean, I'm from farming background. I know how, I mean, maybe the government should incentivise farmers not to use chemicals, but that costs money. And as you know, what the government we got now is like, farmers tend to vote Tory, so all they'll worry about is stuff that left-wingers like, which is like windmills and solar panels and getting rid of oil and shit like that and putting us all in electric cars. They won't worry about this because this will cost money to do, because they're taking the subsidies away from farmers and what have you. I've got a big old lorry coming down this back road, so I've got to be a bit careful. I've got my, let me move my bike. It's not on the road, but it's on the edge. All right, I'll stay here till he goes past. Yeah, so this is all a bit concerning, and yeah, bloody sweeper lorry. What the fuck a sweeper lorry is doing in the middle of nowhere, I've got no idea. When Southwold, where I live, they had to have volunteers go out and litter pick, but that's a different video. Yeah, so be interesting to see in the comments whether you agree with me or not. Let's put it like this: I'm not a scientist. I just work in the countryside and I work on grounds. I just see things from day to day. So all I got is what I've seen and experienced myself, which is fact. I don't want to know about somebody who sits in a university with a computer and tells me that we're all going to die in 30 years' time, because I know that's bollocks. Because they kept going on about sea level rise in the 90s and the 80s, and we'd all be underwater now, and sea level rise hasn't happened. And I can prove that to anybody who'd like to come, and I'll show them. All you got to do is go to Southwold Harbour. We get a lot of erosion and a lot of longshore drift and a lot of sediment moving up and down the coast in Norfolk and Suffolk. Well, it doesn't mean the sea level is rising or sinking. It just means that stuff is moving up and down the coast. So these doom mongers on TV saying that Hemsby's getting swallowed up because of sea level. It isn't getting swallowed up by sea level rise, because the sand from Hemsby is now at Caister and Yarmouth. If you go to Yarmouth now, both the piers aren't even in the sea anymore. So yeah, and also if you go to Southwold, if you go up the harbour to the Bailey Bridge, which has been there for absolutely decades, the water level on the Bailey Bridge at high and low water tide is no different to what it was when I was a kid. So, and I'm 62. So yeah, I don't believe in all that old bollocks. But what I will say is this does concern me, because insects are the bottom of the food chain, and no insects. I mean, there's the odd fly fizzing around me, and there's the odd hoverfly and that, but where are the bees? I mean, they're the pollinators. Oh well. I better sign off. I've been rabbiting for 6 minutes, and I always find shorter videos work better than long ones. Yeah, so I'm on my ride anyway, so I'm on my newer bike, my one I use for work. So, and I'm in the middle of nowhere between Wrentham and a place called Stoven in the countryside. Now, see, look, we got a bee there. That's the first one I've seen. That's a honeybee, and it's just milling around in the middle there. You won't be able to see it on here, but I've just seen it. So, God knows what's going on. Oh well, we'll see. I'll be interested to see if anybody's got any ideas, but please, I don't want any Just Stop Oil loonies or anybody like that commenting on here, because you lot just ain't got a clue. I just want sensible comments, please. That'd be great. Thank you very much. I know I sound a bit harsh, but you know, having somebody rant at me that the world's going to end and this, that and the other, it's no different to listening to some religious fanatic in Hyde Park Corner in London telling me that if I don't repent, I'm going to be dead in 3 years. You know, I was told that 40 odd years ago, so I haven't repented. So, see, there's a bee. We actually got one appeared then, but there should be full of them. Right, I better shoot. And thanks for watching. And yeah, the subscriptions does help. I know I'm a bit of a, you know, I'm only a newbie on here, but I've got a friend of mine that I'm meeting up with tomorrow on Sunday, and we're going to do some conversational videos, a bit like a podcast. He's sort of, he's quite an interesting chap, but he's not a bit shy of the camera, so it'll be interesting to see if I can persuade him to sit with me. Okay then, everybody, enjoy your day. It's a bit cloudy today, but apparently it's going to clear out later.